This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Missouri Supreme Court hands pro-choice advocates a key win in their quest to overturn the state's abortion ban. Now it's off to the races to get signatures to put the issue on the ballot. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. He'd written words like dangerous and unregulated abortions, but a lower court changed that ballot language from Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. And the state Supreme Court decided not to hear his appeal on that decision. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, joins us now with what this means moving forward. Mark?
Mike and Kelly, now that the court battle is over, that means abortion advocates can start pounding the pavement to gather signatures, and that's a high bar. They need at least 170,000 hand signatures across the state, and they have just about 6 months to get them all turned in. Ever since the U.S. Supreme Court returned the question of abortion back to the states,
we've seen in Kentucky and Ohio and other states, there seems to be a surge in turnout when, abortion is literally on the ballot.
Voters are turning out across the country to make their voices heard.
7 states so far have had these kind of ballot initiatives, either for or against reproductive rights. And in every state, it's went sort of the pro-choice way.
Now the Missouri Supreme Court has weighed in, keeping in place an abortion ballot question judges had to rewrite when they rebuked Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft for using inaccurate and partisan language like dangerous, unregulated, and unrestricted abortions from conception to live birth. Ashcroft said, "We stand by our language," adding he was dismayed.
I think we should all be dismayed with Jay Ashcroft at this point.
Pro-choice advocates highlighted a poll conducted just last week that showed 48% of voters want to amend the Missouri Constitution to remove Missouri's ban on abortion.
First of all, I'm always cautious with polls, but nothing's a slam dunk. That's why we put it to a vote of the people, because we actually want to see what the people think on this issue.
Now, a rival Republican-led ballot question seeks a compromise or middle ground with a 12-week ban on abortion, with some exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the mother. That question could appear on the same ballot next to the broader pro-choice expansion, allowing abortion up to 24 weeks.
Do people vote yes on both of them, or do they sort of coalesce around one? I think the messaging, too, if the more conservative ballot initiative that's more like 12 weeks, do they campaign against the more like 24-week initiative? So I think it's going to be interesting to see how those folks supporting these initiatives either choose to work together or against each other. I think that's going to have a lot of sway in how Missourians see this issue.
And we're already seeing early signs the two campaigns may oppose one another as they race to gather signatures. Yamelsi Rodriguez with Planned Parenthood, a local chapter, she said, quote, "There's only one path forward to move Missouri beyond the status quo of no abortion access or extremely restricted. If voters ultimately approve both questions, which they can do, the one with more votes overall would win out in the case of any conflict in those questions."
All right, thanks, Mark. We have some breaking news out of St. Louis County. Northbound Highway 141 is closed for a crash. This is just north of River Valley Drive in the Creve Coeur, Maryland Heights area. We are told a Metro caller ride van was involved in the crash. No passengers were inside, but Metro tells us the driver is going to the hospital just to get checked out. No word on when the road will open again or if anyone else was hurt.
In just a few hours, a Herman police officer who was shot and injured while on duty will return home. Officer Adam Sullentrup was shot in March and has been in Colorado going through an extensive rehab program. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is live in his hometown of Washington, Missouri, where people will be lining the highway to welcome him home. Laura.
They will be, Mike, and Officer Adam Sullentrup is going to be welcomed home by the city of Washington. The police department tells me they're really ready for him to come home. They'll have people lining up here along Highway 100. There's actually 2 locations that you can be if you want to welcome him home. Here at Recreation Drive, where we are now, or a little further down the road at Phoenix Center Drive. Both areas have plenty of parking and enough grass to stand along the highway safely. Officer Sullentrup was shot in March responding to a call at the Casey's gas station in Herman with Detective Sergeant Mason Griffith. Griffith died from his injuries. The Washington Assistant Police Chief says the community here has done so much to support the families.
They've had breakfasts and all kinds of different fundraisers, and it's a really good thing to see the community come out to support someone that sacrificed what he had for his community. Even though it was in Herman, it's still part of our community.
So the police department asks that anyone who wants to welcome him home be here before 7 o'clock, as they're expecting him in town between 7:15 and 7:45. Reporting live from Washington, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, a mom of 3 is rebuilding her life after she was shot several times in Franklin County. The accused shooter, her boyfriend, is in jail facing several felony charges, including domestic assault. Decina Cornell spoke with the survivor during physical therapy today, and she joins us in studio with more on her recovery. Justina.
Yeah, so Christina Horsfall tells me she was in an abusive relationship with Quentin Howard for the last 4 years. And one October night, so many lives changed. She was shot in several places, including her face, her arm, and her spine. And her friend and her little 3-year-old boy were also shot. Now, Horsfall works to change their lives.
1, 2, 3. Good.
It takes strength to pick herself up.
Slow. Hey.
36-year-old Christina Horsfall is determined to do it daily.
I don't have any movement or ability to move my legs from the waist down.
She's rebuilding her life after it was almost taken away October 14th in Pacific.
And was a domestic violent incident. My child's father and I have been together for 4 years. The 2 youngest, it's their dad. I think he thought that I was leaving him the night of the incident because that was the first time I had spoke out and got help from one of my coworkers.
Quentin Howard is now charged and accused of shooting Horsfall, their 3-year-old son, and her friend multiple times.
Upon seeing him with the weapon in the doorway of our home, I had both children in my arms and I started running for my life. I stopped running not knowing that multiple bullets have already hit me and my middle child, the 3-year-old. He got into the van and left.
No, I was.
All 3 survived. Horsfall now moves with motivation. It's taken strength to pick up the pieces.
It's caused me to be wheelchair bound temporarily because I'm very eager to get my body back moving to be able to walk again.
Her tenacity stems from overwhelming support and her children. Those 3 are her greatest strength.
I'm alive to spend another day with my children because that's the only thing that matters to me in life. That's the only thing that's ever mattered to me is my children.
Howard is in jail with no bond and has another court hearing in December. As far as the incredible support, Horsfall's friends and family are raising funds through a t-shirt campaign and tournament. For a full list of details and resources, you can head to our website, KSTK.com, and go to the section as seen on TV.
Tonight, there is a tentative deal to release hostages being held by the militant group Hamas in Gaza.
Hamas took more than 200 people hostage during a surprise attack on Israel last month. A few of the hostages were released, and at least 2 were found dead. The possible deal includes exchanging 50 women and children for around 150 Palestinian prisoners. It also includes a pause in fighting. Today, President Biden had little to say about the potential deal.
We're now very close, very close. We could bring some of these hostages home very soon, but I don't want to get into the details of things because nothing is done until it's done. And we have more to say, we will, but things are looking good at the moment.
The numbers are still subject to change, and again, the deal could still fall apart. It does require approval from Israel's government. You can get the latest updates on the war by texting the word Israel to 314-425-5355.
Tricky Turkey Day travel as millions fly and drive for the holiday. Some parts of the country are facing weather delays.
Your dog may be begging for Thanksgiving scraps. Our Verified team explains which foods are safe and which ones could be deadly.
Finally starting to feel like November, but we do have a little bit of sunshine to close out our day. How long that clear sky stays with us as we head into the holidays and how warm we're going to get the next couple of days.